Community Bees came about because I first set up the business, not as a CIC, just to help the most isolated and loneliest of people. Within the first 3 months, I met a lovely lady who'd seen one of our posters outside Sainsbury's at Clifton. Nobody would go into her home. They couldn't get basically past the front door. I had to clamber over food and waste and clothes and magazines and newspapers to get into her living room, where she sat on a very small part of a sofa. The rest was floor to ceiling of clothes, newspapers. Unfortunately, the lady smoked, which to me just rang alarm bells, and it was a fire risk. From that day, I decided they were the worst, loneliest and isolated of people. So I did my research. They are the most isolated and loneliest of people. They don't let anybody in, and they don't really go out. They have people come to the door, so your deliveries get to the door, or they go to the local charity shop and buy more because they can't find what they want within the home to wear, so they go and buy more. It's a mental health illness. It's probably one of the worst illnesses, mental health. Everybody's got a different story. Everybody's got a different background. 1 in 3 of us are hoarders. But I have to say, pretty much 99% of us hoard anyway. It might only be a drawer, but I've got one. I've got a shed and I collect and then I clear out. My husband says he's not a hoarder, but he is. So yeah, that's where it came about. And then we talked to councils, NHS, doctors, surgeries and so forth, and realised that actually we needed to name and shame the council into saying, hang on a minute, where is the support for hoarders? There wasn't any. So that's where we are 6 years. We're on our 6th year, and that's where we are today. And we've helped over, I think, 600 people so far decluttering their homes. And John, one of our lovely clients, we're helping to clear his garden and to clear his huge 3-bedroomed house, which we've started on his kitchen. And once we get this new shed up, we can then empty the living room, which is floor to ceiling, and then go through the rest of the house, which is a massive health and safety risk, fire, trips and falls, and for his mental well-being. So in this garden, we have cleared a shed, which was the full size of the garage. And down here, we've cleared 4 outbuildings. Within these outbuildings and the wooden shed, unfortunately, the rats have got in and really destroyed everything within those units. What we've got left now is sort of the hard stuff. So now what we're planning on doing is clearing this area, getting new fencing up, clearing all the wood and the weeds, and putting a new shed in so we can actually wash all this down and get it in a safe environment.
Well, it's sure that people, you can get on top of things eventually, as long as somebody that is listening to what you're saying and helping you to go along and sort your own problems out as well. So yes, I think they have, because Michaela has been very good, and they do sort of ask you things before, instead of, oh, just do, you know, do you want to do that? Do you want to keep that? And that helps you a little bit, because then later on, when you've got rid of a lot of stuff, then you look and say, well, I might get rid of that as well. But it's hard to get rid of everything at one go. I always thought I could do it on my own, but then you look at it and you think it's too hard. So Michaela's come in and really got stuck in and moved things and does things. But what she's done, what other people don't do, she actually sits and listens to you. Because the worst thing anybody can say to you is that we'll come in and we'll do it in 5 minutes. You don't want to hear that, because I actually watched a programme the other day on ITV News, which was about hoarding. And there was a lady that had been doing it, and what she said was that hers was, funnily enough, a lot was cuddly toys. But they, because she were part of her family, so getting rid of things and doing things was very hard, because what people think is rubbish to you isn't. But it's then just getting on top of it, everything, and it just gets harder. But you know, with the help, with the right sort of help, because other people have all said, you know, oh, we'll do it. In fact, that is the worst thing anybody can say to you.
I'd like to say a massive thank you to the National Lottery Community Fund for supporting us for the next 5 years, for helping people with hoarding issues around Yorkshire. When I got the phone call to say we'd won, I had goosebumps. I was excited, I was tearful. You don't know how much joy it brought to me to be able to make such a difference to the guys that we work with. God, this makes a massive difference to hundreds of people's lives over the next 5 years.